What the fuck's going on with the audio? Is my internet broken? Wasn't this fucked up like 2 weeks ago?
Hello everyone, welcome to State of the Game for, I forgot the date, it's the 8th, right?
I'm sorry, but I literally couldn't come up with anything funnier than the actual State of the Game intro. Well, it's another fine day in the Division Corps, and everything is copacetic and business as usual. I'm very enthusiastic about what they are trying to achieve with the intro sequence, and once they actually get the cunting thing to work properly, I'm sure it will look really slick. The game is full of bugs, the exploits still haven't been fixed, but on the plus side, Hamish was wearing track pants on State of the Game. I personally love track pants. I call them my wanking trousers. I wonder what Hamish calls his wanking trousers. Seriously though, everyone is always taking the piss out of people that wear track pants, and it's entirely unjustified. I can say this from personal experience. If you want to inconspicuously hang around in the park, discreetly masturbating at the sight of sunbathing girls, then track pants are the professional's choice. The previous few State of the Games have been, well, anticlimactic. Petter One Cash Martinson confessed that he only got 2 pieces of classified gear in the Ambush Global event. Theoretically, this means it's entirely possible that we have a community manager that may have only spent 15 minutes playing the Division during the entire GE week. Even more tragically, it's just as plausible that the balked RNG fucked him in the ringer so viciously that he may, like several other players, have played all fucking day, opened over 30 caches and barely got fuck all out of it. I guess this puts Petter in the strange and uncomfortable position where his only defence for having 2 pieces of classified gear is the game's broken. For what it's worth, I'd believe that excuse. The RNG, or as it should be correctly described, the PRNG, is now fucking stupid. Enough said. State of the Game has also shamelessly resorted to employing a fucking cat to invoke sympathy and make the show more interesting.
Look at that little asshole.
First off, people are not fucking stupid. They will never fall for shit like that. Second, that's my idea, and you're copying it. Scruffy sends his love, by the way. We also had the new format Stats with Yannick inflicted upon us. Although for what it's worth, however terrible it was for us, my sympathy is with Yannick. Dear fucking lord, he's earned his next promotion. Every time I watch that intro, somewhere an angel cries.
Stats with Yannick, no one panic, 'cause Stats with Yannick, yeah.
For those of you who've missed it, Stats with Yannick is the weekly spot where Yannick tells us how many millions of fucking Lexington runs we did in the last global event, whilst Hamish cackles like a fucking hyena in the background. And the figure is usually almost exactly 10 million. This week, Petter was acting head chimp, and the rest of the tea party consisted of Terry Potter, Archdruid, and Keith Zorg, head of Nerfing at Redstorm. And Hamish lurked in the background wearing his track pants. For a change, this State of the Game I sat in silence watching all the comments before watching it with the volume on, and it proved to be very interesting. About every 10th comment in chat was a complaint about the lack of action concerning Cronus Max exploits. It is maybe possible that people are getting pissed off because nothing has been done, and it's now 2018? Yeah, that might do it. Petter later commented, "They're working on it." Fuck my life. Several people commented in chat suggesting the FNP90 and FN57 would make very interesting weapons in the Division. In principle, I fucking wholeheartedly agree. In practice, I think the designers would confuse the P90 personal defence weapon for an SMG, like the MP7, and they would treat the FN57 like a 9mm, and we would just get two new, very pretty but slightly fucky guns. I am, however, ready to be proved wrong. Taking the shit exotics from the shop out of the caches was another comment. A good comment. And something I've been saying since last year. Fuck, at this point it should not even need to be said. Nobody wants to open a cache and get a shit gun they could have bought from the fucking vendor. It's fucking trolling. Fucking get rid of them. People are still asking after Hamish's exotic bolt-action sniper rifle, which is now overdue by about a year. Can you see a theme developing here? I would love this rifle to get made. I've even come up with yet another idea for its third talent. Smoke and mirrors. Every successful headshot makes you appear to be in a location where you're not. Think about it. You'll get it in a second. I also noticed that in chat people are still spelling rogue rouge. Surely this is a video game meme by now, right? Yeah? There were repeated and sensible requests for more cache space, more loadout save slots, and more div tech. I agree on all fronts. I would also add, as I have said many times before, it would be fucking awesome to be able to custom name your own saved loadouts. Some people would have 4 or 5 different build variations of the same set. Classified Reclaimers, frankly, isn't a good enough label. However, my two favourite comments were, and I quote, "If you fixed bugs and banned cheaters as fast as you banned people from chat, the game would be great." That message was deleted instantly. I'm going to assume they got banned. The other comment was in response to PETA trying to come up with a design for an in-game clothes store. Someone said, and I quote, "Video games, man, it's the middle of an epidemic and a clothing store opens." That's my personal quote of the week. PETA then shared some statistics with us about cause of death of players. Intuitively, people started making lots of comments in chat about perhaps showing us the death by Cronus Max statistics. I was halfway through losing my shit with hysterical laughter, but then I heard the immortal words, "We are working on a solution for the Cronus Max, but we don't have any news just yet." Suddenly, it wasn't fucking funny anymore. Terry and Keith Zorg then went on to share their lyrical musings with us about the current state of patch 1.8. Terry referred to the DZ as a PvPVE zone, and for some reason this just kept making me think about DVDA. Terry is loving the sight of rogues being chased around the DZ by gangs of rogue hunters. One of these days I'll actually find the entrance to the DZ and go and take a look for myself. Maybe. They also discussed the mini patch where the Alpha Bridge bug was allegedly fixed, and just like the previous 19 State of the Games, I heard the immortal line, "We currently don't have any news on the Xbox One X patch." Fuck my life. Then Terry discussed his PvP strategy with great narrative flourish. It basically seemed to be based around tearing his shirt off, getting a gun in each hand and running at his enemy, screaming like a semi-naked Viking. The main thing I took away from this, apart from the fact that he usually always dies, is that I reckon Terry seems to have a natural flair for writing violent homoerotic novels. Hell, I'd read his first book if he published one. Some briefly mentioned but very significant news is that they're looking at some form of more targeted means to secure classified gear pieces. The magic line here was, and I quote, "We are also looking at other ways of acquiring classified gear. Drop rates is not the be-all and end-all of classified acquisition. I would happily pay 10,000 Phoenix credits for a single purchased specific classified gear set item. if I knew exactly what I was getting. My plan would also have the added bonus of getting us the Phoenix credit cap increase that I've been whining about for fucking months. It also thankfully turned out that the random email invites people are getting to discuss the Division is neither a scam email or a mini ETF, as some people have been incorrectly claiming. It turns out it's some kind of random marketing initiative. I feel compelled to say that the community team dropped the ball over this one. For over 2 days people were freaking out trying to work out if it was a mini ETF or if it was a carefully orchestrated email scam using the Ubisoft email database. Everyone was seeking clarification from the community development team, but the requests for information were falling on deaf ears. I have to say the two worrying implications are this. First off, the arse doesn't appear to know what the elbow is doing. If the marketing department face rolls into community canvassing and doesn't even bother to tell the community managers, that's not particularly professional of them. Secondly, the fact that the community was in a flat spin for days and we didn't get any response to concerned inquiries about a possible community-wide email scam means, I guess, nobody on the community development team bothered to read the Division subreddit for several days. It's a little bit worrying that there wasn't a single person at Ubisoft interested enough to read the Division subreddit for several days at a time. Well, Johan gets off the hook because he's not in the office this week. Someone told me that apparently he's on holiday in the north of Sweden, murdering hitchhikers. I can say categorically this is not the case, because when you take trips out of town to murder hitchhikers, you always have a good cover story in place before you leave. Trust me. But I think a special thank you needs to go to Amper Camper for being the one member of the community team to quickly respond to inquiries and let us know that it wasn't a scam and it was the marketing department prematurely canvassing. Petter also wants to promote fashion in the Division as a thing. He is investigating some kind of pet project with a name and a storefront design, perhaps as a theme and intro to a fashion-based segment of the state of the game. I couldn't really figure out what the fucking master plan was here, but I guess the logic is players like looking cool. Massive like selling cosmetic items. How about they combine the two and increase sales? Here's my idea. Look at this kid's clothes store. Chuck in a few roulette wheels and a dishonest croupier and call it Pedo Style or the Pedo Closet or something. Job done. Let's crack on. My personal favourite moment of State of the Game was regarding the MG42 light machine gun, ergo the big Alejandro, or Spandau as it is colloquially known amongst a lot of American players. I love this gun and spent hours admiring its beauty, running my digital hands along its masterful Germanic curves and trying to decode the hidden World War II secret message encrypted in the serial number on the side. No, seriously, I'm convinced that there is some hidden encrypted message in the serial number. Any road, Potter and Zorg address the controversy surrounding the origins of my favourite Nazi gun, the Big Alejandro. An exotic weapon which for once has a fucking decent PvE talent. Cower like a bitch. Hide behind a car and kill everyone really fast. Naturally, it goes without saying that it's my favourite weapon. It's a weapon talent that rewards cowardice, hiding and hanging around at the back of a group. Of course I fucking love it. Anyway, in response to Petter's seemingly staged question, Terry retorted with a pseudo-spontaneous explanation that was almost completely convincing. Apparently the designer, Ryan Liebscher, came up with the idea himself, pitched it, and everyone fell in love with it. It's as innocent as that. Considering that I have thus far been suggesting that the Big Alejandro had a vaguely, Third Reich-y feel about it, and that it was based on the German World War II MG42 machine gun, Hearing this explanation, I have to admit, did make me start to feel a bit bad about some of the things I've said and the poor taste jokes I've been cracking about the big Alejandro being a Nazi gun. But then I dropped the words, the big Alejandro, into an anagram generator, and it immediately spat this back at me. Hitler, bondage, yeah? Honestly, check it yourself. Let's just say I'm not feeling quite as guilty now. So what's the general news in the Division at the moment? We have hunters in the underground, getting shocked, then sliding along the ground like fucking Olympic ice skaters, well, ice skaters armed with fucking hatchets, who immediately unfreeze and then one-shot the player. Fortunately, several people have been posting about this on Reddit, and then getting their posts removed. The great debate is in full flight about nerfing Predators and Nomads classified sets. Look, I always said that these classified gear sets would be a fucking car crash, and it's mostly turned out to be the case. I might surprise people though when I say this. I don't want to see them nerfed. People have already shed their blood, sweat and tears in the global event capping the sets. Then they spent a ton of Phoenix credits and DivTech optimising it. It's too late to just pile in with your size 12 boots and nerf them. The solution should be in the form of adjusting the counters and frankly fixing some of the counters that should work but don't. I'm not a PvPer, so I'm not going to start some lobbying campaign for specific changes, but get on YouTube and do some fucking research yourselves. Check out KalStreams on Twitch, Upper Echelon Gamers on YouTube and Twitch, and a host of others. Check out the different opinions and formulate your own ideas. Don't fucking listen to me. I barely ever PvP, and when I do, I mostly just fucking run away from people. All I'm saying is, if they just roll out a big, fat, cactus in the arse nerf to Nomads and Predators, once again, a large section of players will see their hard work flushed down the fucking toilet. And yet again, PvE players will get fucked over for another DZ rebalance. The irony, of course, is that there used to be a few very popular electronics builds that would have been fucking lethal counters to classified Predators and Nomads. But nobody runs them anymore in PvP because they got nerfed into cunting oblivion. Sow the wind, reap the fucking whirlwind. Perhaps next time, don't be in such a hurry to destroy marginal builds because elitists claim they're noob friendly. Seriously, if you nerf grenades, a ton of fucking builds, and rebalance the game to suit a very focused and specific style of play in the DZ, you can't act fucking surprised when you roll out some new gear set and find there's nothing present in the game ecosystem that can reliably counter it. The game should be rock, paper, scissors, stone. Too often in the Division, it's rock, rock, rock and paper. But the rocks keep complaining about the paper, so they're going to burn that in the next patch. There is a great video by Upper Echelon Gamers about the history of balance in the Division. Definitely check it out, it's worth a watch. And as I've repeatedly said, check out BuzzLitebeer's video series Back to the Past, which tells the history of the game, patch by patch, and is the definitive guide to how the game developed since launch. Corporate mind control is once again starting to creep up the drainpipe towards the bedroom window. It would appear that certain persons deviating from the narrative are being expunged from the forums and the subreddit. I've come to realise that this is a trend that comes in waves. They take the piss more and more with the censorship until it reaches critical mass, enrages the fucking community, and then realise they've gone too far and back off a bit. It's basically exactly the same principle as electronic arts and loot boxes. Well, it would appear that we're close to boiling point on this front again, and I've been getting contacted by a few people who are getting fucked off with getting their posts taken down, locked, or getting short-term bans. If someone goes onto Reddit and posts, "Lols, I love this game," I don't see anyone banning them for low-effort posts. Then again, it's probably someone on the public relations team using a Smurf account. I think it's time we briefly discussed Ubisoft's, and more specifically Massive's, perhaps biggest problem. Delivery. Massive has a fucking big problem delivering on its promises, and delivering on its side of the deal. This isn't some kind of cunting esoteric ramblings or ethical debate about principles. I'm talking about delivering on the basic shit that they said they would deliver. The guys who won those prizes in the State of the Game giveaway, guess how long it took for them to receive those? Over 6 cunting months. That's 6 months. And the involvement of third parties to push things along. The Xbox One X patch. Where the fuck is it? I've even seen a community manager make a fucking very poor taste joke about the fact nothing has been done about it. That's a bit fucking pathetic. Not only is the patch not here, but someone's actually making jokes about the fact that the patch isn't here and people are upset. The inventory bug fix. Where the fuck is that? What about the fix for gliding fucking hunters in the underground? Terry Potter and Amper Camper made a big deal on stream about how that shit needed urgent fixing. So, where the fuck is that fix?
Sort of, you just got... See, that was a problem. That's something we have to fix.
Clip.
Yeah, clip that.
Clip.
We need to fix that.
The global events commendation fixes. For many of us, we gave up trying to cap them because they don't fucking work reliably. A fix was promised. Where the fuck is it? Healer delay fixes. It's 2018. Any progress, guys? Server performance. Still abysmal. Where is that fix? What about the solution to the Cronus Max situation that they've been looking into since early last year? UberTimmeh was promised a t-shirt and a hoodie if he posted a picture of his newborn son dressed up as a Division agent. Well, Timmy's son is fast approaching his first birthday, and Timmy has received precisely jack shit. I raised the issue in a video about 7 months ago. It was claimed 4 months ago that it had been posted. Today it turns out someone is looking into it. Well, what is it? Was it posted? Was it not posted? Someone is telling porcupines. Where the fuck is the merch? The people handling the Division need to take a long hard look at themselves, because they're not fucking fooling anyone. They need to get their act together. I'm not trying to shit on anyone's day here. What I'm saying is, if you promise people stuff, then deliver it. At the end of the day, if Massive can't deliver a fucking t-shirt after 8 months of waiting, why should anyone trust their word about anything? If Massive wants people to trust them and believe them, then frankly, they need to start honouring their word. Right then, it's time to wrap this hitchhiker up and toss her in the river. The Division is sometimes like watching a lazy, pie-eating cunt with heart disease try and get fit. And before you say it, no, I'm not talking about me. But the point is, the second they make a little bit of progress in the gym and lose a couple of pounds, they suddenly decide to congratulate themselves for their victory and fuck it down to the chip shop to bang up some pie and fucking mash to celebrate, before going to the pub for 8 or 9 pints of wife beater. Patch 1.8 and the global events have been the biggest move in the right fucking direction this game has seen in a long time. Now is the time to fucking capitalise on that. Fucking attack the bugs, the exploits, fix the fucking balked RNG. Sorry, PRNG. Jesus, there is a list a mile long of shit that needs fixing. Seize the fucking day and jump on the case. Instead, it looks like this small victory has been taken as opportunity to kick back, smoke a cigar, feel smug, form a big circle jerk, and then start wanking each other off before moving on to other projects. Don't fucking blow the progress that has been made. I don't want to see Massive end up like those runners that celebrate too early and lose the race.
That extra second before celebrating, a college track star learned the dangers of premature celebration.
Once again, a big thank you to everyone supporting me on Patreon. I'd also like to take this opportunity to say that I know a lot of people get strapped over Christmas and New Year is tight for money. Hell, for a lot of people, money is always tight. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, dear fucking Lord, the welfare of my supporters is more important than my money. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love money, especially free money. But holy crap, It ain't really free if it's causing you stress and me guilt. What I'm trying to say is, dear Lord, if you can't afford it, drop down to the lowest $1 category on Patreon. If you're not 100% sure that you can make that payment, then cancel your Patreon subscription so you don't risk getting hit with bank charges. Your support means everything to me and this channel. You don't have to support me with your wallet. Obviously, for any stinking rich fucker watching this video, you can stick your hand in your pocket because I've got bills to pay and mouths to feed. The fucking prostitutes tied up in the basement are not gonna fucking feed themselves. And at the moment, I'm getting through about $100 worth of cable ties, bleach and plastic sheeting a month. If you really want me to get that webcam live feed from the cellar installed, somebody is going to have to stump up some money. I even have a special Patreon bracket for corporate clients. Not that anyone signed up for that yet, strangely. My point is, if you don't have the cash spare, please keep it. You can support me by telling a couple of friends about my channel, coming and saying hello when I'm streaming, or chucking a thumbs up on a video. Keep your money for Jimmy hats and whiskey unless you have plenty to spare. However anyone chooses to support my channel, even if it's just watching, you all have my thanks. Well, I would love to talk all fucking night, but Alejandro needs feeding. So for now, good luck and happy hunting.